Look, this dude's lungs. This is not a normal 35-year-old's lungs. Even if a 35-year-old is a veteran of war, and look, I'm almost 37. I'm a veteran of war, and I mean, I can still run 18 miles a day like it's nothing. And this dude, with the shape that his lungs are in, he wouldn't be able to walk a mile. I mean, it's obvious to me that this young man, 35 years old, you're still a young man. This guy has been inhaling abnormally hot fumes of some kind. Um, I've worked in galvanizing shops. I've worked in steel mills. I've worked in the coal mining industry. Um, this is very reminiscent of black lung almost. It doesn't have much information. It just says at the VA, exertional dyspnea and cough. Now, exertional dyspnea and cough are both telltale signs of congestive heart failure. But congestive heart failure, 35 years old? There ain't no way. I mean, this dude would have had to do a shit ton of cocaine, methamphetamines. And even then, it wouldn't have fucked his lungs up this bad. I mean, he would have had smoked so much fucking crack that it would have crystallized his lungs. It wouldn't have done that. That's hardening. The black is hardening. The white tissue is abnormal. I mean, this dude's lungs are fucked. I mean, unless he's a huffer or something. Huffing, I don't see Huffing doing this, though. I mean, this dude cooked his lungs. I've seen other cases like this when people smoke spice and they're smoking plant material. Like, what was it? It was Damiana and elephant leaf, or elephant ear leaf, or elephant leaf, something like that. Very, very reminiscent in the congestive heart failure, dry cough. I wonder if this guy's got a voice. You know, if he doesn't have a voice, that'd be another telltale sign that he's been smoking synthetic cannabinoids, and he fried his lungs and his voice box and his lungs. I mean, I've sucked in all kinds of nasty fumes and grinding dust and rust and toxic fumes for welding and working in coal mines. And I mean, I've absolutely been through the ringer. And this dude's shit, 35 years old, something ain't right there. He's been abusing his lungs, like purposely trying to kill himself or some shit, because at 35 years old, all the information that I find, you know, it doesn't look like pulmonary edema from congestive heart failure. Let me see. Let me take a gander at somebody else's lung x-rays. And I mean, these are all elderly people, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. Decreased lung capacity. Obviously, this guy's got a pacemaker. The alveoli are fried, though. This dude's chest is a mess. And it's not pulmonary edema, though. It just doesn't look right. And this is weird. Eropthnia. Labor difficult or heavy breathing. Yeah, I bet that guy can't breathe for shit. Labor difficult or heavy breathing, uncomfortable sensation, wind breathing. I mean, honestly, the guy looks like he's got a horrible case of pneumonia, but overexertion. Let's see if we can find some x-rays on somebody that's got horrific asthma. Sorry about that. I don't want to hear that garbage. Shortness of breath. What I'm looking for is the same damage. And the only other time that I've seen some lungs like that, it came from somebody that literally had smoked their freaking lungs into the condition that that young man's lungs in. Smoking spice. Pediatric. Corticosteroids for pediatric. Pneumonia. See, his lungs don't look like that. Not even close, so it's not pneumonia. I'm like, I'll put my money on it. That dude ain't going to be upfront about what he'd been doing, but COPD and bronchiectasis. You know, that kind of looks similar, but even then, I mean, it's obvious there's decreased lung volume. The person's going to have hard time breathing. They said that his coughing started 4 years before. I mean, well, if you're smoking spice, then Even this isn't a good representation of the damage that spice can do to your lungs. Like, I've only ran into a couple of cases when I was still working at Parkview, and it's not from overexertion. Overexertion ain't gonna fry your lungs like that, plain and simple. Frying his fucking lungs, it's because he's smoking spice. Hey, if I think back, my damn memory's pretty good. Emphysema at 35, COPD, he would have to smoke 3 packs a day since he was like 10 years old. There's just no way. Predominant emphysematis. It kind of looks similar because of the discoloration, but this is not a good example of what that young man's going through, or his... I mean, this dude's lungs look like shit. Those dark spots are from cooking them. He's inhaling something that is way, way hotter than, I mean, it could be from vaping, but even vape isn't that hot. That crystallizes your lungs. That shit, the darkness is from cooking them. He is literally cooking his lungs. That's from being in contact with something that's way too hot that he should not be inhaling. And honestly, if he's coughing a lot, I mean, smoking pot wouldn't do that to you. I mean, he's got some other issues with his lungs, though, because, it's not good. If he doesn't quit what he's doing, he's gonna die. "4 years before presentation." Yeah, he probably started shitting himself. Because you realize if you lose your heart rate, you lose your bowel. You will literally lose control of your bowel. You will start shitting yourself. When you try to fart, it'll all come out. That's what congestive heart failure does to you. You will shit yourself. This man's lungs at 35 years old, he's doing a little bit of something. Smoking cigarettes ain't gonna do that to you. Not until you're like 60 or 70. This man keeps going, he's gonna need a double lung transplant. This ain't me. This isn't my x-rays. I've seen x-rays like this, but these aren't x-rays. These are from a CT scan. Or something a little bit better than what I was doing. I was an x-ray tech. I mean, we used CT scanners, and it gives you the three-dimensional look, so you can see the curvature of the lung and stuff. But this dude's lungs are fried like those eggs and that sausage that I just ate, because it's not good. Somebody should literally tell this guy. He needs to be honest with him. Because, look, I've inhaled about every damn kind of chemical there is. Everything from acids, from working for petrochemical companies. I've worked in freaking the oil industry, and I've worked in coal mines and around gas fumes, and this guy's cooking his lungs. Cooking them. He waited 4 years. Somebody should have said something to him. 35 years old. So it started when he was 31. Dry, raspy cough, probably. His blood pressure was low. This ain't me. This is from people like Christopher Bloomfield. And look, there ain't no fucking way. I've seen a lot of CT scans and a lot of... I've done lung transplants and stuff, and this ain't cancerous. Well, not yet. It will be. He keeps going. He's either going to kill himself by completely shutting his heart down and cooking it, or... and he's just not going to be able to breathe, and he's going to end up suffocating on his own fluids. You know, the body will heal itself. If this guy, at 35 years old, stops what he's doing, it'll pretty much heal itself over time. It's going to take some time, though, and he's going to have to take antibiotics and stuff, but it's amazing what the human body is capable of. Hey, look at me. I came out of a coma after a closed head injury. I was in a coma for almost 3 months. I regained my memory. I regained my ability to walk. Because I had... well, I don't even want to talk about it, because this guy's doing it to himself. Smoking cigarettes ain't gonna do that to you. And I ain't giving my fucking lungs up for this jerk off. I doubt he's even a fucking veteran. He's probably FLDS pedophile or something. The CDC can kiss my ass, especially the black community. Because who the fuck are they to tell anybody anything? These people are fucking worthless fucking pedophile trash. The fucking dude on the other side of the wall over here, he's dating my ex-girlfriend, and he touched her kids. And she stayed with him. But back to the case here at hand. 4 years. I mean, this guy had to be just coughing a lung up. I mean, it'd be horrific. This guy's probably got cold sweats. His freaking nose is running ridiculously. This guy's doing it to himself. Because, look, I've worked around welders and every other kind of machinery in the world. And I'm telling you, you don't get, like, even when I worked at the paper mill and stuff, my boss was in his 60s. And yeah, he had brown lung, but he had been doing it for 50 years. This guy's 35 years old. He's doing something to himself. And like I said, I've seen x-rays and CT scans like this previously that lead me to believe that this guy's probably smoking spice. And there's only, you know, it's a certain type of spice that gets extra stupid hot, and when they're fucking inhaling this shit, it fries their lungs. This ain't got nothing to do with cigarettes. And fuck him. I really doubt that he's even a legal fucking military veteran. I highly doubt it. I put money on him being FLDS. Because the VA doesn't take care of lawful veterans anymore. They take care of frauds. I can honestly say that the VA didn't do shit for me. The only organization that helped me at all was Wounded Warriors. The VA is a fucking joke. I wouldn't take my ass to a VA. I'd rather fucking die. They took all my shit off their fucking files and shit. Somebody went into that place and erased all my shit. And it's the Fort Wayne Fire Department that did it. Because they're aiding and abetting FLDS and Italians. And, you know, they buy heroin from the Italians. And from FLDS, they buy their spice and all the other shit. And then they buy their cocaine and crack from these black people and Mexicans. You know, it's disgusting. It really fucking is. Yep, I don't feel sorry for the guy, though. He's doing it to himself. He's doing it to himself. I wish they would really stop posting this COVID-19 shit because... South Africa. And, you know, you want to talk about this inverted intubation. This is something I came up with. You know, this is the medical community trying to cut me out of everything positive that I have ever done. I am the bariatric specialist. I have operated on people that are freaking 700 pounds. Look, I've been a therapist of all kinds. Nutritional, radiological, all kinds of crap. This is garbage. And seeing this shit on New England Journal of Medicine, which was already accused of illegally practicing medicine because they were demonstrated to be ISIS associates and stuff like that. But the inverted intubation, that was something that I came up with because I dealt with so many overweight patients, and I mean a lot. That's something that that was my specialty besides infectious disease and transplants. This guy's lungs are fried though. It's from smoking spice. He didn't buy that shit from me. He bought that shit from Chris Bloomfield probably. I can't, that's just speculation, but there's only so many people that are importing fucking chemicals into this country. And it says that this, you know, there's only certain things that cause this. It's inhalation of chemicals, inhalation of fungal matter. So marijuana itself has fungal matter associated with it. Some marijuana does. And that's the reason it's supposed to be lab tested if it goes into a dispensary. But this isn't a fungal infection. This dude's frying his lungs like a freaking... I mean, he's cooking them like a steak. It's not good. Yeah. My condolences to Gilbert Gottfried's friends and family. He's a pretty good dude. I worked with him quite a while. And got to do some comedy shows with him and stuff. He was a hilarious guy. Pretty sure that's old news though. He's had cancer for a long time. He's been battling it. It's sad to see him go. Muscular dystrophy. I'm trying to think. This guy had other health problems. I can't remember what it was, though. Recurrent ventricular tachycardia due to myotonic dystrophy type 2. Maybe this wasn't the guy that had cancer. I'm trying to remember. There was somebody else that me and him had worked with, and they had horrific cancer and stuff, and he ended up dying. That person died too. He's a good guy though. Good dude. Sad I didn't get to talk to him before he went. It's sad. Heart disease. Not taking care of himself. He probably didn't lift weights, exercise. Well, I know he didn't. Ooh. Shooting each other with body armor on. John McCarthy. This is the guy that licensed me to be a UFC. After I quit fighting, I took up refereeing matches, and I've refereed matches here in Fort Wayne and all over the place. Sterling, as in Sterling Silver. Dude's black. He's not fucking Native American, and his fucking name's illegal anyway. That belt is wide open for the taking. Somebody could literally take him to the court, sue him, strip him of that title, and that's that. He doesn't have a right to call himself a champion because that's not his name. It's sad. Sad state of affairs this country's in. Yep, Wounded Warrior Project. They the stuff. They the bee's knees, though. They put enough stuff together to get me on a vacation, go see cemeteries and guys that I fought with, and threw a big get together and stuff, and that's probably the best organization around because the VA is trash. The VA is trash. You know, when you tell them that you don't want your ex-girlfriend that is a thief around you, and they still send the bitch as your fucking nurse, and she's not a nurse. She's never been a nurse, never was a nurse, didn't get trained as a nurse. Look, I've trained plenty of nurses, and the bitch down the street living at fucking Travelers Inn was never a nurse. Nothing. She didn't even have the training this guy next to me has. I trained him. I trained that lady. Jesus. She wasn't even an orderly. She had no training. And all the fucking VA did was send a fucking thief to my grandma's house. The motherfucking VA is trash. They're fucking garbage. I had that bitch locked up the same way that I had her bitch ass black boyfriend fucking locked up too. Now he's got a fucking ISIS title with his fucking name. He's the reason I put myself into Indiana State Prison. To show him that he didn't have to get fucked in his ass. You know, I honestly didn't want to come out. And look, that prison didn't turn, it wasn't a prison either. That was a bunch of garbage because they were letting the gates open, let people come in and fight. I mean, it turned into a straight fight club in that prison. It was something else. State of Indiana's got some explaining to do for their actions. I mean it. That prison was not a prison. That prison was a fight club. There was betting going on, all kinds of stuff. It was off the chain. It was too. It was nuts. There was Fort Wayne cops, Indiana State cops. I mean, there was police officers and military veterans, all kinds of shit coming into that prison, and we were putting on weekly fights, bare knuckle, boxing, kickboxing. It was crazy. It was crazy. Wow. Yeah. State of Indiana's corrupt. They should have never let that go on. I went there to do undercover work. They didn't give a shit. Like that prison was it was something else. I don't see them bringing that up in the newspapers. Fight club at Indiana State Prison. Prison gates let wide open. Look, I've done backyard boxing, UFC, other MMA, karate, judo, kickboxing, all this other stuff. But that prison was not a prison. Indiana State Department of Corrections, you let the gates open. We're letting all kinds of people into that motherfucker. It's hard telling what kind of contraband got in that place. Probably knives, guns, narcotics, illegals, hookers, all kinds of shit. I mean, it was something else. It really was. Jesus God. Yeah, I don't know why the Air Force ever let me do that one. I don't know. You know, the state of Indiana needs to cover that shit up too. Dewan Sanders. Oh. Jesus God. You know, I just don't know. Yep. I mean, there were some real ass kickings in that prison. People, I mean, fucking, we had ambulances lined up out the gates because people were getting injured so badly. People were getting so hurt. That's the reason they had to shut the gates and we had to shut down the fight club at that Indiana State prison because it was brutal. It was brutal. Oh my gosh. It was bad. I mean, it was real bad. Look, we had got warned multiple times about it. Warned multiple times. Fact remains, it went on until this one dude lost his life. People died. People died in those fights, and it was getting hard to cover it up. And I'm not the one that was responsible. I did it for a good reason. You know, I went undercover as a 2-star general in the Air Force to prove to somebody that they didn't have to give up anal sex in order to make it through. And that's where Kevin Pieper, who is not DEA, he is a convicted child molester, comes into the picture. You know, the city of Garrett, which I worked at legally, and he doesn't. He's FLDS pedophile. City of Fort Wayne hired him. He violated my civil and constitutional rights by forcing me to identify myself when I did nothing wrong. All I did was fire off one bottle rocket. It was completely legal. I did not do anything. The state of Indiana changed the laws for bottle rockets now. You can't let off bottle rockets, and it's because of a convicted child molester who is illegally working for the city of Garrett, and at that time was working for the city of Fort Wayne Police Department under Tom Henry. Tom Henry. You know, this guy, Tom Henry. Not me. I didn't hire him. This guy has hired multiple pedophiles. Multiple pedophiles. He's ultimately responsible for the Fort Wayne Police Department. Look at his wife's name. Cindy Cox. Fraud. He is a fraud. He's not even from Indiana. His family is from freaking Ohio. The guy is a fraud. Fraud. You know, even his bullshit was mentioned in my high school education about how the ATF could cover up his background and his family being involved with firearm sales. Henry repeating firearms of Ohio. Uh-huh. And you know, that's... Somebody should have drew the line somewhere, but the ATF's involved with pedophilia. Tom Henry's involved with pedophilia. All these people are involved with pedophilia. That's what they all have in common. Because Kevin Pieper, first of all, I know what he and the police department and shit are trying to do, but they're not SEC. They don't have any right to the SEC. They don't have a right to nothing. They don't even have a right to police this community. You know? Because when you look up my name, see, you get this Patrick D. Heron dude. He's a fraud. And he's gay. And I'm not gay. You can't even find mine. See, you find some British dude. See, that's the number one picture, though, because that's me. These other people are frauds. Frauds, 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 more frauds. State of New York is mentioned. Frauds, frauds, frauds. It's disgusting. It is disgusting what they're trying to do. See, and then you got this 33-year-old dude. It wasn't me. 2021. Let's see. 2022, I'll be 37. So in 2021, I was 36 years old. I'm 3 years old. Older than that guy is. I'm not in Mobile, Alabama. I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is located in Allen County, which is located inside the state of Indiana, which is located inside the United States of America. This guy at Duke University, he's illegal. Duke University is corrupt. I mean, the EPA, it's ISIS. This dude is ISIS. 100% he is a terrorist. Every single one of these people that uses my name is a terrorist. And this dude, the Vietnam War casualty, Look, I'm the only one of me. My dad's name was Robert Bob Wayne Heron. This cocksucker from Pennsylvania is a fucking fraud. And the state of Pennsylvania, the Marine Corps, I bet this dude was probably a chomo. Probably a child molester. Patent attorney? No. Because look, I've already patented multiple things. There's a... You know, it's garbage. These people are trash. They need to use their own names. I don't care. Plain and simple. You know, they're all trying to cover up other people's crimes. Cover up everybody else's crimes that they have committed. Like treason. Treason, robbery, pedophilia, murder, attempted robbery, securities violations, signing off on their kids to sell narcotics to the Fort Wayne Police Department. I mean, these people have serious crimes they need to cover up. I don't. They got a couple of misdemeanors in my name. That's it. I've already took the EPA back to court and disproved their theories of me being a polluter. Never happened. In fact, it led back to Nick Bushy polluting the water table in a different county, Noble County. Because his CNC mills, his operators, and look, I never flooded the place out. I always remembered at a maximum you could only run the coolant into the back tank for about 10 minutes before the damn thing would overflow. I never flooded those machines out. Not one of them. Never flooded them out. So I have zero liability in any kind of pollution, minus like a car driving around. But I've never dumped oil down a sanitary sewer, coolant, none of that stuff. My scooter is clean running. Every vehicle that I've had is clean running. I've built, literally, I used to do the emissions testing for the state of California. Look, I know what I'm talking about when I talk about cars. I have literally rebuilt cars from the frame up, and they passed in the most stringent emissions inspections process in the world. California is hard in order to pass emissions. And I've done it multiple times. These people are all trying to just take my name and murder me off and cover up their pedophilia and other crimes that they've committed. And man, it's just getting old. It's terrorism. It is 100% terrorism against the state of Indiana, the city of Fort Wayne, Tom Henry, all his co-conspirators, all the rest of these illegal motherfuckers like Ken Fries, I'm sorry, the illegal Italian sitting on the city council, all the other pedophiles and people I've had locked up for their criminal actions. It's not my fault. I didn't have these people committing crimes. Now, what do you want me to do about it? You know, I'm not the one peeping in women's restrooms and taking pictures of them. I'm not the one touching babies or none of that garbage. That's the reason I don't want to pay into this country one penny. I don't want nothing to do with it. Because of shit like I just showed you. Look how many people are using my name. I have 3 forms of identification. They have 0. They have none. They have none. And Jamaica's a part of it. And I ain't got shit to do with Jamaica. I just happen to know the background of the Maxwell family. I'm not related to them. I just know the family history because it was mentioned in my high school education from Central Noble. Right? So the state of Florida, the state of Indiana, the Jamaicans, they can all kiss my ass because they ain't got shit on me. Tom Henry doesn't have shit on me. I'm not going to open up businesses to let these people run my shit through the mud again and bankrupt me. I'm not. I've tried helping these people. Tom Henry needs to step up to the plate, open some businesses, and let these junkies come in and work for him. It's his responsibility. He's the mayor. I'm not the mayor. I was a small business owner that got fucked over by his FLDS pedophile buddies. Just saying.